psalmist carries stories of victory. Look at all the stories of victories David had.
Yeah.
He also had some tremendous disasters and losses, but stories of the victories and faithfulness of God throughout the generations. I think that's an important thing that's being pointed out right there. That's the faithfulness of God over long, long, long periods of time, rather than the self-centeredness and even the self-loathing that we can catch ourselves in, embracing. Oh man, wake up with that shame thing one more time, or wake up with that painful memory one more time. I wonder if David ever got to the place where he could, I have the memory, but it doesn't hurt anymore.
Yeah.
That's deliverance. You know, then his songs come from a very different place. And remember, what these are about is to write your reflection over here.
Yeah.
You know, so these are promptings for prayer. Prompting. A lot of them are great songwriting prompts and prayer prompts and processing your own life through these things. Victories, not just the victories, but the faithfulness of God in those victories. Oh wow, I was victorious. No, you weren't. He's still our victory.
Yeah.
It's his faithfulness and his loyalty to us, his love for us. That's where our victories come from. And throughout the generations. I mean, look how many times God's people deserved disaster but the faithfulness of God would change circumstances born out of one response. As long as God's people are reacting and rejecting, you know, judgment and famine. But out of one response, and many times the response would come as a result of a poet, prophet, singer, somebody just coming out of nowhere, an Elijah, an Elisha, somebody, or someone like a Gideon. Who was Gideon? I mean, he was just a kid working in the, you know, threshing, I guess that is. Some thrashing too, I'm sure. Yeah. But the angel of the Lord tells him who he is. And he responds reluctantly with all kinds of questions.
Insecurities.
Yeah, insecurities and mighty man of valor. What? Who? Moi? You know? And we all have those kind of moments too. Yeah. But then once the response comes, I think if there is a turning point, okay, here's where everything changes. But then we have to activate and walk out those changes. Yeah. Walk out the victory. You weren't walking out the victory before there was a response. As long as there's rejection, man, you're under it. But then once that response was there, that's the difference in a responding to the Lord and reacting to the Lord. Reacting is being repulsed by the possibilities of something that you don't understand. Because that's stepping back like this, stepping out of the light, out of his glory, backing into darkness. And but response, bring closer. And with every response, his glory arises brighter on our lives. And pretty soon, his glory is the force that we're writing from and singing from and writing the victories from and acknowledging his faithfulness from. So anyway, their language accesses the presence and power of God through lyrical expressions of praise. So to me, that's some of the reasons that I would say to anybody, you know, whether you're a songwriter or not, be a psalmist. Yeah. Let the Psalms become so much of a part of your life. You know, maybe you're not even musical, but you can take the Psalms. Matter of fact, I got it laying around here somewhere, or it's in that case. Where what I like to do is I take one of my pens and just write the Psalm in cursive, and because if you're writing with a cursive hand, it slows you down and you process it very differently. And there's tactile things that happen as well. There's a lot of neuroscience behind that, but I don't do it as a scientist because I'm not a scientist. But I want to enjoy the full experience of the words and and the contemplation and so on. So whether you, my point is, whether you sing or not, whether you're musical or not, you can let the pen do the dance across the page, you know.
Yeah. How do you be a psalmist as a painter?
Oh, the principle of garbage in, garbage out, word of God in, word of God out, life in, life out. And so to express your worship as a painter, you just apply the word of truth to your life as you paint and as you imagine and as you, what is not becomes an is, as you're unfolding your heart expressed through the paintbrush or through the image that you're seeing and writing. I mean, look again, David, what he saw, he would write. What he saw. Now, what if he was a painter? What I see, paint. Yeah. What I see, I dance. What you sense, you know, there's sensory systems for a psalmist that shouldn't ever be overlooked. Yeah. It will be like David, many times way, way out of balance, overly sensitive. Because sometimes they can, I'll say it anyway, sometimes we have to carry not only our sensitive or sensibilities, we carry those for others. Yeah. You know, so we're going to give them language. A painter is going to give them a visual that hopefully carries so much of the expressed heart of God on it that people begin to experience in a beautiful way the heart of God when they see that painting, or the heart of worship, the beauty of creation, and the creative process. So, no matter, I think, you know, poetry is just well-lit words. You know, words are like arrows, but language is like a bow. And sometimes you have to bend the bow to release it. Painting's the same way. Yeah. Music the same way. You have to bend the tones and the textures and the give and take, tension release. Yeah. You know, nothing more. There's not too awful many things more tense or what shall I say, anticipatory than looking at a canvas and somebody doing this brush thing, and you know, all of a sudden you're trying. What in? The release comes. You know, once it comes into view, you know. Psalmists carry stories of the victories and faithfulness of God throughout the generations. And their language accesses the presence and power of God through lyrical expressions of praise. Should we say painted expressions of praise? Should we say carved? Should we say, and on it goes. Right. Preached expressions of praise, you know. Exhorting one another, building up one another in a most holy faith. Be a psalmist.
One of the 107 things, the last line is something like, be a praise. I forget the context of it, but you said something about be a praise in the world.
Yeah, we need to be a praise in the earth. We are a praise in the earth. Right now, think like this for a second. What if, you know, we hear people say, okay, such and such going to be our guest speaker tonight at church. We don't go here, so and so and so. Yeah. Now, what if out there on the marquee it just says, tonight, special guest, God. You go to church and God is going to speak. And when he gets ready to speak, this is what he's going to do. He's going to reach his hand out into the congregation, and he's going to pick up Eric and going to hold Eric up like this. And he says, I'm going to share my testimony. Eric's life is my testimony. Yeah. He is a praise in the earth. Look what he's come through. Look what tried to take him out. Look where he failed. But look at his successes and wins. That's my testimony. So as he shares his testimony, he always uses that whole redemptive process in redeeming everything that the enemy was trying to do, because the enemy came to steal, kill, and destroy, but he came to share his testimony. You know, I think that's the way we should think of that.
Yeah, that changes a lot. Even in trying to create, it takes the pressure off trying to make praise right and the Psalms right. You just have to be, if you believe that if I believe I'm the praise, then I just have to write and just and just be. And it makes yourself see yourself differently.
Yeah, we're his testimony. Can you or imagine him leaning off the throne of heaven, and you know what, God? Well, it's a whole other thing, but there you see God sitting on the throne and Jesus at his right hand interceding for us.
Right.
And so the enemy is down here accusing, saying, "Hey, God, do you see how horrible Joe is, or how horrible? You know what? They're full of lust." And Jesus turns to God and says, "Joe, he's full of love." The devil says, "He's full of anger. You know, he's full of peace."
Mm-hmm.
Everything that the enemy throws in our names, Jesus sitting at the right hand of the Father, interceding, intercepting. Mm-hmm. He intercepts all the dark realm and turns to the Father and speaks who we were born and created to be. Yeah. And I think that pulls us back to that whole metaphor, or that whole image of God sharing his testimony, because he's not poison, he's a praise in the earth. Yeah.